I do welcome you to Bible Times. I'm Willard Pless. We're now here on September the 7th in 2025. And we know now that God's court is in session. We know that this thing is on trial. We know the harlot woman, the beast, Babylon, the great city that we know now is Washington, D.C. and New York City, is on trial. And this is going on right now. And that's what you see playing out in real world. That this is on trial now. This is God's courtroom. And you read about that in Revelation chapter 17 and 18. There you can read about this trial and about what's going to be done and how it's going to come to the climax of it. We know that by January the 6th, this is when Jerusalem will be flooded. And we know that this is the climax of the trial. And I hope you're seeing this. I hope you are. I hope you're understanding what's going on here. We understand that the marriage supper of the Lamb is going to come between now and January the 6th. And this marriage supper of the Lamb is going to take place in heaven. The resurrection is going to happen. And see, the thing that we've been taught about the rapture of the church is not true. The church is fallen. We know the Bible teaches that by studying about what's going to happen to the church, that it's fallen. And Jesus is on the outside. You might say, well, what about the church world that's going on now? What about what's happening? Is Jesus not involved in that now? He is. The Bible says he's knocking on doors. And he said, if any man hear his voice and open the door, he'll come in. So he's still using the church. He's still knocking on people's heart's door, trying to get people to open the door and let him in. He's not going to force his way in. We know that. You're going to have to invite him in. And this trial is going on right now. Started here in September in 2025. And it'll come to its climax by January the 6th. This is when Jerusalem's going to be flooded. This is when the abomination of desolation comes. And when this happens, see, then after this takes place, then Jesus comes to earth then, after the marriage supper of the Lamb there in heaven. And he comes to the Mount of Olives. And then he will ride the white horse into Jerusalem through the eastern gate. See, before he left this world, he rode the little donkey through the eastern gate. But this time he's going to return as a warrior. The first time he come as a lamb, and Isaac, the birth of Isaac, give that. But this time he's going to return as the birth of Benjamin, the warrior. And we've talked about all this and looking at the timing and everything. And I know people don't like to see the timing. They don't like to hear about it. See, we can't know the day or the hour. We cannot know the day or the hour that the resurrection's going to come. We cannot know the day or the hour. But see, the Bible teaches that we can know the season. We can know the time and the season. We can know that by what's going on and what's happening, what's taking place in this world. The Bible signs that Jesus give and things that are going on. And we know right now that the plagues with the angels that we learn about in chapter 15 and 16 of Revelation is going on. And the plagues are being brought into the strongholds of this world, of this thing that it's trying to get people to wake up and come to understand what's going on and talk to Jesus and begin to walk with him and let him give you the Spirit, and then you can see and understand what's going on. There's no way to see this and understand if you don't have the Spirit in you. If you're not walking with Jesus and have the Spirit leadership, you're not going to see this. But I'm here and I'm going to try to get as plain as I can. I know you might throw a fit and run away or whatever. That's your privilege. And but I hope you don't do that. I hope you'll talk to Jesus and make things right with him and start walking with him and quit walking with yourself or being caught up in this movement that's going on in the world now with this thing that's on trial. You still have a chance to come out. If you're involved in this and being a part of it, you can come out if you start talking to Jesus from your heart. It can't be just a head knowledge thing. It's got to come from your heart. You got to talk to him from your heart, and he'll hear you then. And he will come in, and he will sup with you, and you with him, and then you can begin to see and understand what's going on in this world. And we're going to get as plain as we can here. We've talked about all of this. We know that here in January that this trial has begun, and it's going to get more severe as we go along. Things are going to be brought out, and things are going to become turmoil, and we know the big beautiful bill is coming up here shortly to be implemented, and you're just going to have to be watching all this and see what comes out of it and what develops and what takes place, and call on Jesus and come to understanding. He'll give you understanding. This is why that he's letting the world see this thing being played out in real time. This is what you see and what's going on. And you need to get into Revelation 17 and 18. Now we're going to soon come to chapter 19 of Revelation. Now this is when Jesus moves into the heavens. And then the resurrection will come. And the marriage supper of the Lamb will take place there in heaven. And then Jesus will come to the Mount of Olives. And then he'll ride the white horse into Jerusalem. He's already chosen the 144,000. See, the choosing of the 144,000 Jews to live on during this thing. And he will meet with them there on Mount Zion as we study about it in the scriptures. And he will meet with them. And then he will take down the beast and the false prophet and send them to the fire. And see, we've been talking about all of this. The false prophet has been here ever since around World War II. This thing began to happen even back then with President Kennedy about the whore, and it reaches back that far. And the Bible talks about the kings being caught up in this and committing fornication. It's talking about the presidents. We call them presidents, but the Bible calls them kings because they're rich and powerful. And you got to understand Bible language. You got to understand Bible time. You got to be able to understand the only way you can. Let me say this again, plain. The only way you can, you got to walk with Jesus and have him in your heart. And he will give you understanding, and you will not be caught up in this. So if you're realizing that you're caught up in it, you've been pushing it all away, but now you're saying, well, I see things a little more clearly, and I'm ready to take my stand and walk with Jesus and be a part of what he's doing in this world. And that's what we're doing. We're going to get as plain as we can here. And by January, the abomination of desolation that the Bible talks about is coming to Jerusalem, and that's when it's flooded. See, the beast followers, and we know that this is President Trump. He's the leader now, and they will flood Jerusalem just like they flooded Capitol Hill. That is, people will do that. And Daniel chapter 9, verse 26 teaches that. And it teaches that it'd be 62 years from President Kennedy to the time. And so we want to understand what's going on. We want to see, and we want to be as plain as we can. Now, you can hate me if you want to. I don't care. You can hate me and blaspheme and talk against me and whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to hate you. I'll pray for you. I definitely will. Because I do. I pray for people that are not able to hear and understand that they will come to the time and the place that they will see and understand things and be ready to walk out of that and come to Jesus and be a part of what he's doing and get ready for the marriage supper of the Lamb. The Bible teaches you might have been called, but you're not yet ready. You're like the 5 foolish virgins who may be asleep and not seeing things and understanding things. See, if you're asleep, you can't hear. you can't see, you can't understand. So wake up. Preachers need to wake up. Churches need to wake up and warn people about this thing and help people get ready. And so we're going to close here, and I hope you'll call on Jesus and get ready, because he's coming soon. The resurrection's going to take place here soon, before January, and I hope you'll be able to see at the marriage supper of the Lamb. So God bless you, and you have a great day.